Welcome to Voices of Leadership. I'm Chris Atwell, and in each episode, I sit down with the leaders shaping the future of the manufacturer's rep industry. Real stories, real challenges, real growth. This is where leadership comes to life. Brian, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you with us and get to listen to your experience as a leader in the manufacturer's rep space and the learnings, the growth, the mindsets you've adopted over time that have shaped you. Thanks for joining us.
Chris, happy to be here. It's always great to see you.
Always great to see you, for sure. Let's get cracking.
Okay, let's do it.
So my first question for you is around a defining moment, okay? Can you share, if it exists, the defining moment in your career so far that you feel really shaped you as a leader? And what would that be?
I feel in my career, it was probably even before I got into the manufacturer's rep industry. And I was really fortunate where I was empowered by the people I worked with to really grow and give them leadership opportunities. And I think back to, it was in the 90s, and I was working for a company in the marketing world doing field marketing. And we were running an outbound sales team that was going into retail stores and selling product.
Okay.
And we had to train these people, and it was around Christmas time. And we had to figure this all out. So we're given the content, and this is what we had to train. And they're like, okay, how are you going to train yourselves, train the team, and go out? And we trained, I think, probably close to 750 to 1,000 people.
No kidding.
In like a 4-month period. Wow. And the leadership opportunity was the ability to own it, be involved in it, and be empowered to do it. And it was a pretty amazing experience that stuck with me my whole life.
Yeah. And that experience of having to step up and learn how to really get these people engaged and train them and educate them on how to do things. And a lot of people, it sounds like, has really shaped your approach to leadership today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's interesting. I would say coming from the environment where I worked to the environment of coming into this industry, two very opposing ways of looking at business. Yeah. So when, I worked in the marketing world, it was like, all right, everybody, let's lay our cards on the table. Let's make the best hand. How are we going to win together? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's gotten much better in the plumbing, the HVAC world, but a lot of people still hold their cards close to their chest. Yeah. It's a lot harder to win that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Lay the cards out on the table. Don't hold them close to your chest.
Exactly.
I love that analogy. Yeah. You've been running a business for a long time, and multi-generational business, right? With that comes numerous challenges. As nobody's ever said that entrepreneurship is easy, right? What would you say was the most challenging moment that you've ever had to face in your business? And what did you do to overcome it?
So the business has been in operation for 40 years. Mm-hmm. Started in 1984.
Right.
My dad was really a sole proprietor when he started it. When I made the transition from the marketing world that I worked in to get into this industry, it was really sort of got to a point where I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. And I went to him and I asked him, hey, what do you think about me coming and working with you? Mm-hmm. And his response was, we'll try it for a month and see how it goes.
Okay.
And I guess that month is still ongoing, but that was a really defining moment and a scary experience. Say, okay, I'm now going to be working with my dad. So it's the family business. You don't want to let them down because it's a family business that's had success. You don't want to sit in a meeting and say, hey, Dad, what do you think? Yeah. And so it really sort of had to reshape the relationship I had with my dad and myself.
Wow.
And when I look at it, it made it stronger. We were able to really figure out, at work it's Gary, at home it's Dad. And we were able to draw that line very effectively. And there weren't many times we had disagreements, but if we did, it was left at the office.
Yeah.
And not knowing how that journey was going to go and to where we are today with the number of people we employ, I mean, it's night and day from where the company was to where it is today. So that was a defining moment for sure, but also one of the scariest moments, I'd say, making that change.
I think that's a really powerful example, and particularly in this industry, there are so many businesses that are multi-generational where there's a similar situation. You've got siblings or a father or a grandfather, and you've got to prove yourself that you're ready to take over and succeed and take this business over. And what I'm hearing here is that the main challenge was, how do you separate that father-son relationship from the business relationship?
Yep.
And set those boundaries? And your approach was, leave the home stuff at home, business is at the office, and you created a healthy boundary in order for you to navigate through that, and now you've built the business to where you are today.
Correct. I mean, you had to overcome that challenge of, hey, this guy's just a kid who couldn't get a job, so his dad hired him.
Right.
So now you got to try and, make that name for yourself and make sure you're building the business.
Yeah, because that part's important too,
Sure.
right? It's like, Dad, I'm sick of doing what I'm doing, and I want to try come and work for you. And he's probably like, never thought about, or maybe he did think about it, but
exactly.
Now you're approaching him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that month is still ongoing.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I just mean we never really took a long time where it's just like, we'll try it for a month and see where it goes.
Yeah.
We never really talked about that again. It just kept on going.
Yeah. We'll try this till Friday. I just won't tell you which Friday.
Exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. You look great, by the way. And I know that you've been taking care of your health and really dialing in on your habits and routines.
Yep.
All right. What would you say the most critical, most important habits and routines are that Brian needs to make sure he's dialed in on so that he can show up as the best version of himself every day?
I would say the most important part of my day and my routine is my morning. And that sets my pace for the day. So there's some things that I put in and blocked in my calendar every single day to make sure that I do. And when I do that, I already feel like I'm going to have a great day. When I don't do that, or like now when you're traveling and you can't do everything you normally do it makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm always a morning person. And, through work and talking with people like yourself and figuring out, hey, how do you best prepare yourself and prepare for your day? Mm-hmm. That morning part of it is a great ritual for me, and it's very important to me.
Can you give me some examples of some of the things that you do in the morning that you treat as sacred?
Yeah, I mean, simple things like, waking up, having a good glass of water, taking the dog out for a walk, sort of clear your mind, maybe listen to a podcast, come back, try and get some sort of exercise in.
Yeah.
Have some breakfast, a healthier breakfast. And as you're sort of looking through, reviewing your day, and then by the time you make your coffee, by the end of that, you're ready to go out the door. Once you've showered and you're out the door and away you go.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
And then you mentioned putting things in your calendar. Are you referring to pre-work, or what about work too, morning time at the work?
I think it's a matter of, I still have relatively young kids at 15 and 13.
Yeah.
So, trying to be spending more time with my family as well as the business. It's really just sort of looking at that day and the review of that day. And I try to do that the night before.
Yeah.
But just to refresh in the morning to have a look and say, okay, what do we got today?
Yeah.
And then what do we have the rest of the week? Just so you're properly prepared,
Yeah.
ready to go and have that right mindset for where you need to go.
Yeah. But it's all about the morning for you. You get up, you refresh, you hydrate, you get some movement in, you walk the dogs, you have this routine that you follow that sets you up and you can rock and roll.
Yeah. The other thing I'd say I've done as well, which has been great, is identifying parts of my day where I'm not as effective and then trying to work something in that time as well. So, I've started to try and work out more and do some lifting and things like that. And I'm like, worst part of my day is like mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
That's where I am not very effective. So that's a great time to go and do that. And I found that's given me more energy through the end of the day,
Yeah.
but then also something to look forward to, going through the day as well to relax.
I mean, you've put so much energy out from the early morning into midday, and then your output, your battery's drained. So you going to get some exercise helps get that bioenergetic energy going, and you've got like a second wind almost.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Very cool. Very cool. Imagine you were looking at yourself 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Stepping into a leadership role. What advice would you give yourself today?
Wow, there's a lot of advice. You always say, if I knew then what I know now, right? And there's a bunch of things that would go through my mind on. It's a very good question. Because you could say things like, listen to those around you, ask some good questions. But I think the bigger part of it is don't be so afraid to take a risk. And it's that whole thing about, even about, 75% completed is better than 0% completed. So it doesn't have to be perfect the whole time. So, set that plan, write that plan, work that plan, knowing it's not going to be perfect. But as you do that, and if you have that goal and the short-term goal, the mid-term goal, and the long-term goal, and it's really clear,
Yeah.
you're set up for success.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to take a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's totally relatable, right? You run a business, there's a lot of moving parts and potential for things to go off the rails if you're not careful. And sometimes we're a little too over conservative, but without taking risks, you might not see the growth. So you gotta take those risks. Yeah.
And I think it's easier to take those risks when you're younger than when you're older.
Right.
Once you're
That's a
married,
good point.
you have kids, and other responsibilities and other things going on. I'll still take a risk today, but it was easier back then, than it would be today.
Yeah. There's lots happening in the industry. Your business is evolving. What are you most excited about that's coming down the pipeline?
What am I most excited about?
Mm-hmm.
When I think of right now of the vision I have where I want to take our company and sort of setting up my succession plan on where it's going to be, my plan is I want to make sure that this is a sustainable company that's going to be here for the long term and has a good plan to maintain and keep it going for 50, 60, 70 years. I mean, you look at some of the people in AMR that we're here at with, and there's some companies that have been in business over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's rep firms that are been in business longer than manufacturers in their industry. It's crazy. But it's that one constant in that marketplace. And I want to make sure that our company's set up to be the same way for that continued success, with or without.
Yeah. That's exciting. Definitely exciting. What does that require from Brian's leadership to make that happen?
It requires a good plan, a plan that not that I know, a plan that everyone else is aware of as well. And that's the one thing that I've been working on, to sit there and say, hey, does everyone know a shared vision where we want to go? And I'm at the point now where, trying to do a better job forming my leadership team. So they're aware of what that plan is. We're all buying into that plan, and we're all going towards rowing in the same direction for that plan.
Yeah. Excellent. A question? She's got a question. You've got manufacturers reps all across North America. And some would say that larger markets might be easier. Maybe it's smaller markets that were easier. You've got Ontario, you're based out of Toronto.
Yep.
Would you say that you've got a leg up because you've got a larger market in Toronto, or is it maybe the other way around? Is it more challenging?
I don't really think of it too much about that way. The reason why is because it's what do I want the business to grow and be, and put toward my plan for how it's going to fit in that market.
All right.
We're fortunate on one side because it's been a robust growing market for years. But on the flip side, there's a lot of other agents doing what I do in our market. But there's also, a big dot on Toronto because it's been an epicenter for development for years. So, the amount of offshore people coming into that market, people from other areas saying, hey, Toronto's the place to be. There's a lot of competition there. And you can get all that noise to sort of cloud your judgment or be a distraction, or just focus on your plan and what you're going to do. When I talk to some reps south of the border, they may have like 2 competitors in the space. I might have 7 or 8. So, it can be looked at as a more competitive market, but that's not what I focus on. It's what is our plan? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do?
Focus on what you can control,
100%.
regardless of the market size and who your competition is. It's how do you show up every day?
100%.
You mentioned Toronto's been the epicenter of construction for a long time in Canada.
Yep.
How has business in Toronto changed over the last 5 years? And what do reps need to do to keep up?
So, and it's interesting because if you ask me this question, I would say 18 or 24 months ago, it's much different than I would answer today.
Yeah.
At one time in Toronto, I think there was 147 cranes in the air, more than there was in North America combined. It was insane. It was crazy. There was so much work.
Yeah.
And now a lot of that work is slowing down. Now, some people say this is the new norm long term. Some will say that, this is short term. But the reality of it is, being a rep and our job to create demand for the products that we represent, there's always opportunity. So now we've just got to really look at how that market is changing and where to focus our efforts and time and resources to help it grow.
Yeah.
So when I look at over the past 5 years, how's it changed? I mean, we've had huge population boom that's moved into the market. We had a lot of levers that were really helping it develop, but now a lot of those levers have been taken away.
Yeah.
Interest rates have gone up. Immigration is stalled. Students are staying out of the market. There's no foreign investment. It's the government cost to build a unit in the residential side is skyrocketing. And until those things get figured out, the market is going to be in a stalled market. So it's going to take some time before it corrects itself.
Yeah.
But again, those are out of my control.
Yeah.
So now where can we focus our resources and our efforts and our time to grow our business and grow it for our manufacturers and grow it for our contractors and our distributors?
Yeah. So it's about making sure, again, if I understand you correctly, to be successful and grow, focus on what you can control, focus on the right things. Don't let the noise, the distractions get in the way, and just stay consistent. Yeah.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. Yeah.
And alter the plan as you need to, because it's going to change. But have the plan. That's the first step.
Exactly. Well done. Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining me. Look, these insights, this conversation to me is what makes this industry so exciting, right? It's a lot of fun talking with leaders like yourself, and I know your journey can have an impact on other leaders who are either taking over the business from their dads or even just starting a startup.
Yep.
And this conversation is going to allow them to grow, to learn, and hopefully to lead with purpose. So
amazing. I mean, it's a unique industry. It really is. And when people understand more about it, try to describe, what do we do?
Yeah.
You're a manufacturer. What does that mean? And it's once you understand it and work in it, there's so much opportunity.
There is.
And for me, I mean, my hope is that even in Toronto, I want every rep to succeed, because that's the path to market I want manufacturers to use in the plumbing and HVAC market.
Yeah, they might be competition, but they're still a part of the industry, and that's important.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. I
Chris,
appreciate your time.
Always great to see you.
You too, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.